One of reality television's most iconic figures is taking on one of the world's biggest streaming platforms. And she is not holding back. Tyra Banks, the 52-year-old supermodel and creator of America's Next Top Model, has filed a defamation lawsuit against Netflix following the release of the controversial docuseries Reality Check: Inside America's Next Top Model. Banks claims the streaming giant manipulated her interview footage to construct a completely false and damaging narrative about her. The three-part docuseries, which premiered globally on February 16th, revisited some of the most controversial moments from America's Next Top Model, which Banks created and hosted for the first 22 cycles beginning in 2003 on UPN before the show was eventually canceled in 2018. The series featured interviews with former judges Jay Manuel, Miss J. Alexander, and Nigel Barker, as well as former contestants including Shandy Sullivan, Whitney Thompson, and several others who opened up about their behind-the-scenes experiences. Banks says she participated in the documentary willingly, giving a 3.5-hour interview because she believed viewers deserved a candid conversation about the show's legacy, including its shortcomings. However, she claims producers used just 16 minutes of that interview, stripping her words of context and reassembling them to paint a picture that bore no resemblance to what she actually said. In her lawsuit, she described the editing as involving selective editing, deliberate omission, and surgical manipulation of continuous footage, calling the resulting portrayal a complete fabrication streamed to a global audience of millions. At the center of the lawsuit are two major allegations. The first involves Cycle 2 contestant Shandy Sullivan, who claimed in the documentary that she was sexually assaulted during filming in Italy when male models visited the house, and that the original production team covered it up by framing it as a cheating scandal. Banks insists she had no idea Sullivan was even participating in the docuseries, let alone that she had classified the incident as sexual assault. She also claims that footage showing her nodding and saying, "I do remember her story," was deliberately cut out, making it falsely appear as though she could not recall Sullivan at all. The second major issue involves longtime ANTM runway coach Miss J. Alexander, who suffered a stroke in 2022 and stated in the documentary that Banks had never visited him. Banks says she was living in Australia for 2.5 years at the time and was never given an opportunity to share text messages proving she had repeatedly tried to reach him. She and Miss J had in fact been exchanging messages as recently as Christmas Day 2025. Banks is seeking damages for lost business opportunities, lost income, and significant mental anguish. Netflix has not publicly responded to the lawsuit. Former panelist Kelly Cutrone firmly backed Banks, saying she believes 80% of the docuseries is incredibly twisted, and that the facts and the truth will come forward. Meanwhile, Banks hinted she may not be done with the franchise, suggesting a possible return of the show is not out of the question.